Hey there YouTube, this is SJM4306 back with another review video. This time, we are reviewing yet another power bank. This was literally just dropped off at my door. It's Sunday, ordered via Amazon, so yeah, they apparently deliver on Sundays. And yeah, this particular model, if I can zoom in, there you go. It's sold by JNEESYAN. Okay. Yeah, so this is slightly different than the other models I've reviewed because this has a solar panel on it. We'll get to that in a sec. There's some caveats with that, clearly. But yeah, very austere packaging, just as power bank, so right to the point. I like that. And yeah, it says please follow the manual. Do not place it in your car. Well, obviously, you're gonna cook it. It says place in a dry environmental. Okay. Disassemble the product is not advised and might cause dangerous. You got to be careful about causing dangerous. And yeah, keep an eye on the product to see if there's smoke or swell while charging. Oh my god. Okay, fair enough. That's very bad. And check out the product if it's too hot. Should be stop using for a while. Of course, you don't want it to be too hot. Other unusual using problems or issues are available to contact us after sales, etc., etc. Working hours might reduce in low temperature environmental. Of course, lipos hate the cold. And to make the charging is safety, period. Keep the flashlight off when not necessary. Okay, I'm just having a little bit of fun here. But yeah, model is W0611M. Just rolls right off the tongue. They took a page from Sony's playbook. Anyway, yeah, let's just pop this open. I will say though, like even though the packaging is like very bare bones, it like is designed well to all fit together and whatnot. We have the power bank here. We have a tiny little carabiner clip. That's interesting. Okay. We have a USB micro, so not Type-C, unfortunately. Gonna have to dock some points for that. Yeah, and it's quite short. It's about like 6 or 8 inches, so not like super short, but also not really particularly long. But I got drawers full of those, and nothing else in the box. Yeah, that was it. We have a manual, and this is rated for 20,000 milliamp hours. And judging by the weight, gonna have to actually discharge this fully and then charge it to actually know if that's the real capacity of the power bank. But yeah, we can go through the specs. You can take a screenshot if you're really interested. Yeah, it says the flashlight can run for like 55 to 65 hours so if it's fully charged. That's interesting. And yeah, etc., etc. I don't need instructions to know how to use a power bank. Here, it's already flickering. So yeah, the solar panel, I will say this. If you are going to stick a solar panel on a power bank, those like cheap garden white solar panels with like the epoxy covering discolor really fast. This is actually a step above that. It's looks kind of like a PEI film or something like that the type of plastic that's used that the solar panels are embedded in. So this will fight discoloration a little bit better than that, but if you leave anything out in the sun for long enough, it's going to discolor. But I will say this does give me a little more confidence in terms of like the material used for the solar panel itself. The rest of the body feels like rubber and like pretty durable ABS. Like there's no flex to this like at all. There's little rubber grippies too, so I'm liking that. Looks like very blue in camera, but it's more like a baby blue in real life when I'm looking at this. It's a little key ring. I guess that's what the carabiner clip goes on. I wouldn't put a solar power bank on my keychain, so probably just end up removing that. There is a little compass. That is cool. And it does sort of seem to work, I guess. Sort of, there's a little air bubble in there. Yeah, north is about that away. But yeah, we can see the label here. It says 5 volts, 1.6 amp max for the input. Output is 2.1 amps. I'm guessing that would be per port. And how do I access the port? So there's this flap. Okay, so it snaps on to protect it. Because this is sort of targeted towards outdoorsy people. So you are going to want to cover. And yeah, this is completely rubber, this blue part. So this does actually like clip and seal in. So that's actually pretty interesting design. If that tab breaks though, whatever, these little parts that clip into the case there, then this isn't going to create like a very good rubber seal. So I have to see. Hopefully this is plastic's a little thin, but hopefully it's like a good quality plastic. But yeah, we have our micro USB port. That's for input charging. And then there are two output ports. And like you can see here, there's one LED that's flickering that's showing that it's like just about receiving enough light to start charging, but not really enough. You're going to have to put this guy like in pretty much direct sunlight. Even if you do it through a window, that'll cut the efficiency pretty badly. So pretty much like leave this guy outside, but you can't let it get too hot because batteries don't like getting too hot. So yeah, they mentioned on the site, and I did read, I had a bit of a laugh, but it's a lot more honest than I've seen other solar power bank manufacturers. They basically have a disclaimer saying like use the solar panel to top off the battery. It's going to take forever pretty much to fully charge the battery. So the solar panel is just for like topping off basically, or adding a little bit of charge at a time. It's not practical to leave this out in the sunlight forever to get a full charge from empty. So yeah, we have 4 other LEDs on here, and we have the actual white LEDs for like lighting, using this as a flashlight on the front here. Those look like 5mm LEDs. And yeah, feels like some kind of plastic lens on there. You got the reflector. Where's the button? How do you turn this on? Where? Oh, there's a power button on this side there. Okay, if I click it once, it shows that the battery is about 50%, which is actually good for shipping and long-term storage of lithium batteries. You want to leave them about like 50 to 80% charged. Any lower and you could actually damage the battery, and any higher, then you accelerate the self-discharge. So that's good. So let's see. Yeah, if you double click, turns it on. That's actually pretty bright. That is actually pretty good. And yeah, if this can last like 50 some hours, I'd be happy with that. So that's the first mode. And if I double click, it turns it off again. So on. If I click once, it'll go into SOS mode, I guess that's supposed to be. Okay, I had to cut out the last mode because it is like pretty much dance party rave mode where it just flickers the LEDs uncontrollably, and I really don't want to give anyone like who's sensitive to flickering flashing lights seizures through any of my videos. So yeah, I'm gonna remove that last bit of flickeriness. So yeah, there's 3 modes, just solid on, SOS, and crazy, about 10 hertz flicker, which I don't know why I guess to get attention or something. If you're in an emergency, maybe that last mode might help you, I don't know. But yeah, that regular flashlight mode should be pretty useful. So what I'm going to do is fully charge this and then do a full discharge test and see just how much capacity my USB analyzer says this has, and I'll give you the results from that. Okay, so I just left this. It's quite sunny. It's like super hot today. So I left this in my windowsill all day. I just got home. It's like about 6 now. So it's been there for like a good, 8 or 10 hours, something like that. And you can see here, I left it blinking on the last light, which means the battery was very low because I did a full discharge test. Now it stopped blinking. So it charged less than like 1 tick basically. And that's just with obviously this internal solar panel. So yeah, this will take you, if you left it on your windowsill every single day and you had like a bright, multiple hours of like really like decently intense sunlight, this would still take quite a while. I would guess this would take something like 2 weeks full of like really good sunny weather on a windowsill, mind you. So not as good as outdoors, but safer, I would say, because it's less likely to cook if it's in like a temperature controlled room. But yeah, so the solar panel on here, you can use it. It's like they suggested. It's basically just for topping off the battery. It will take you quite a while to actually fully charge it just off the solar panel. Okay, so I've used this guy for about 2 weeks, and there are some definite caveats. So I showed you guys a pic of it discharging. I did a full discharge test using one of those little USB analyzer things that can tell you the capacity of power sent through it, and fully charged. So I fully charged this up, and then I did a full discharge test, and I got just about 4,400 milliamp hours. Now this is supposed to be rated. If you see, hopefully it says, yeah, here. It's supposed to be 20,000. So now, given that was an early charge test, batteries, sometimes you need to kind of break them in, put them through a few charge cycles for them to reach, especially if it was in storage for a while, to reach the full capacity of what the battery is capable of. So say even I rounded up that 4,400 milliamp hours to about like 5,000. That's still a quarter of the listed capacity. I wouldn't expect that much of a difference. I would expect maybe like 25%, up to 25%, maybe lower, plus minus, something like that. So yeah, I mean, in terms of it charging, it works. I like the design. The solar panel actually does work decently well. We're having like a pretty hot heat wave right now, and so the sun is like blasting all day for hours and hours. So this is ideal for a solar charger. Here, even in the room, I have the blinds closed, and it's still actually charging off of just the ambient light. So these are kind of ideal conditions for solar panels, and charging, it took about 2 days for it to increase by 1 notch ish, I say, because I can't tell exactly beyond like about 25% increments. So I can't tell exactly what percentage it increased the charge. All I could tell is it took about 2 days for it to increase 1 bar. But it's just, the capacity is just not what they listed it as. Now, if you are looking for like a ruggedized, pretty tough, throw in your backpack, or on a keychain on your backpack hanging off the side power bank that you don't really want to worry about, and you're not worried about having the full 20,000 milliamp hour capacity, this will still charge a modern smartphone at least once. So it's not like it's such a low capacity that's unusable, but just be aware that you're not getting exactly what the product description says. As for the output power on these USB ports, I got maximum, when I plugged it into my tablet, about like a little bit over like 1 amp. These are supposed to be capable, I believe, of like 2 amps. Yeah, 2.1 amp max. Now, I don't know if they mean per port or both ports combined, but just on the single port, I was only able to pull a maximum of about an amp, which is not going to fast charge your phone or tablet or whatever you plug in. It'll charge at kind of the regular rate. So that's another thing to keep track of. Yeah, and as for the actual, like, the spotlights, I think they're fantastic. They work really well. And even at the, like, 4 to 5,000 milliamp hour draw of this, they should last a considerably long amount of time. So this would actually be really good just as a flashlight, I would say. That just so happens to be able to charge 2 phones at a regular charging speed. So yeah, if you guys are interested in this, I will have links down below. But like I said, just be aware that it's not going to be 20,000 milliamp hours. I mean, first time I held this, I knew instantly that it couldn't be that high of a capacity. Our battery technology just is not there yet, that something this small and relatively light could have that much capacity. So I kind of knew that they're fudging the numbers a little bit, and I just wanted to absolutely confirm it before I accused anyone of anything. So yeah, as long as you know what you're getting into, I mean, this is a pretty rugged, beefy power bank, and the solar panel actually is not entirely useless as I thought it would have been. So yeah, it's not horrible, and I actually I'm slightly fond of this compass. It actually works because so many compasses about this size just do not work at all. But yeah, anyway, it's pretty utilitarian. It's relatively cheap. I think it was like about 20, it was just under 20 bucks that I ended up getting it. So for that price, it's not horrible for a battery bank that can charge your phone at least once and has a solar panel and actually has a pretty decent flashlight on the front. So yeah, and it's built pretty well. So I mean, really the only complaint that I had on this was the capacity just wasn't what, as long as they were honest, if they just said it was a 5,000 milliamp hour power bank, I would have been happy with it. Hopefully they will perform some of their own testing on this and uh, update the sales page to match whatever the actual capacity is. Anyway, if you guys are interested in this, I will have links down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.